right, everybody, welcome to the next game in the Colorado Rockies replay. We're at game number 45 out of 59 to be played. And Rockies come in 15 and 29, which is still 8 better than what they were in the real world. They were 7 and 36 at this point in real world. They'll be taking on the Arizona Diamondbacks here at Chase Field. This game was played May 17th, 2025. Chase Field is really good for singles, 1 to 14, but not so much for home runs. Only 1 left and 4 right. Rockies actually won this game real world 14 to 12 in a slugfest. We'll see how they do tonight. For the Diamondbacks, right-hander Zach Gallen is on the mound. And for the Rockies, right-hander German Marquez is on the mound. We'll get to Marquez later when we go to the bottom of the first. Right now, we're looking at Zach Gallen as he is the upcoming pitcher. And on the season, Zach Gallen, 13 and 15 with a 4.83 ERA for Zach Gallen. He has a 0 hold, and the catcher Moreno is a 0 arm, so he's a net 0. Marquez, on the other hand, is a +4, and Goodman's a +1, which means he'll be a +5. And leading things off would be Jordan Beck. There is no Brenton Doyle in the lineup. He's getting the night off. He is on the bench and available to pinch hit, but he is getting the night off. And Mickey Moniak will take over and play center field, and Freeman will take over in right field where Moniak usually is. Good evening, Joe, and good evening, Ben. Good to see both of you. All right, so I think we're about where I need it right there. So we're going to get this game underway. Jordan Beck. That is a 1-4 for Beck against the right-hander. That's a strikeout, and would you expect anything less from the Rockies than a leadoff strikeout? That'll bring up Ezekiel Tovar, the shortstop. 1-7, and he flies to center field. That's 2 away. 2 up, 2 down for Hunter Goodman. 6-9, and that's an in-home run straight up. That's gone. Hunter Goodman. Kiss it goodbye. Zach Gallen on the 6-9 against right-handers. You don't need a D20. You don't need ballpark factors. You don't need anything. That is gone. Hunter Goodman goes deep. Puts the Rockies on the board 1-0. And that'll bring up Ryan McMahon, third baseman. It's a 1-4, and that's going to be a ballpark blast. It's only a 1, though, so not very likely for McMahon. We need that dreaded double die number of a 1, which is very hard to get. But the Rockies will take a 1-0 lead on the home run from Goodman. We go to the bottom of the first. Colorado 1, and the Diamondbacks coming to bat. And German Marquez on the mound for the Rockies. 3 and 16 with a 6.70 ERA in real season. On the replay, he is 1 and 5 with an 8.67 ERA. And he'll be facing Corbin Carroll to start things off for Arizona, followed by Marte and Gurriel. 6-9, and that's an in-home run chance for Corbin Carroll right off the bat. 1-14, and we got a tie game. And that didn't take long. Corbin Carroll leads off the bottom of the first with a home run, and we are tied at 1 apiece. That'll bring up Ketel Marte. 3-4, and that's a straight-up home run. So back-to-back home runs to start the game as Ketel Marte goes deep on the 3-4. And it's 2-0 Arizona, or 2-1 Arizona, rather. Remember, this game was 14-12 real world. Here's Lourdes Gurriel. That is a 5-7, and that's a double. So at least Marquez kept that one in the ballpark. Brings up first baseman Pavin Smith. He did not play in the first game. 6-3. It's a ground ball pitcher, X. He's a 4-0. He's not going to make an error, but we'll roll, make sure there's no rare play, and there's not. But he's a 4. So that could be a little bit challenging all on its own. A pitcher with a 4 has to have at least a 5 on the D20 to make the play. And he does. A 14 is going to be a G2. So that means Gurriel, I believe, is going to hold on that. Let's see, G2 and runner on second, and it's normal. It means it's right, which means decide. Ball hits shortstop, pitcher, catcher decide. But with nobody out, they're just going to hold him at second base. No reason to take any chances. One away for Suarez. Hello, Joel. Suarez. I'm not even going to worry about trying to pronounce his first name. Eugenio, I think is what I was told, something like that. 3-9 for Suarez. That's a pop out to McMahon at third. 2 down. And that'll take us to Gabriel Moreno, the catcher. Clutch situation for Moreno. In the clutch, he will lose a couple of hits, 2-7, 2-8, and 2-12. It's a 6-7, and that's a pop out to short, and that'll end the inning. But 2 home runs back-to-back to start the game give the Diamondbacks a 2-1 lead after 1. And now we go to the top of the second. Leading off for Colorado will be Kyle Farmer. He is actually playing first base today. Michael Tolia getting the night off. So Farmer is a 4 E21 first baseman. That is a 2-11 for Farmer. 2-11. And that's going to be a ground ball to third. Suarez makes the play. 1 down for Mickey Moniak, the Maniac. 6-7. That's a ground ball to second. Easy play for Lawler. Lawler has one of the worst defensive ratings for a second baseman I've ever seen. 4E71. This is not a misprint. It is 4E71 for Mr. Lawler there. Here's Tyler Freeman. 3-3, and that's ground ball first base C. So Smith will get it and flip the Gallen to end the inning. So it's a 1-2-3 inning for Zach Gallen and the Diamondbacks. We'll go to the bottom of the second. Still 2-1. Marquez out will face Alec Thomas to lead things off. Center fielder. That is a 6-8 lefty, and that's a triple 1-5, double 6-20. And that will be a double for Alec Thomas. Leadoff double. And now here's Jordan Lawler. And as you can see, defensively, he's pretty bad no matter what position you play him on. E65 at third, E71 at second, and E88 at short. So obviously he's not very good. And to make matters worse, he only hit 182 on the season. So he's not good for much of anything except AAA. That is a 5-10, and that's a ground ball shortstop. Actually, we're looking at Tovar. 2E16 for Tovar. 2-17, that'll freeze the runner at second base. E17, he has to avoid 15, 16, and 17, which he does. So throws Lawler out. Thomas stays at second, 1 away, and shortstop Geraldo Perdomo. That's a 4-8, and that's a single to left field. Beck has a -2 arm in left field, but Thomas can really run. He's a 16, not being held to 17. It would be a 1-15 if they want to send him, and they're going to send him 1-15. And if they throw through, Perdomo is going to take second base. But I still think you have to throw through, so he's going to get second on the throw. But it's a 1-15 to get him at the plate, and they don't get him, so it's going to be an RBI single. 3-1 in favor of the Diamondbacks, with Perdomo taking second on the throw. And here's Corbin Carroll. Started out the game with a bang with a home run. 6-9. He does the same thing again, potentially. 6-9, exact same roll. 1-14 would be a home run. This one would be a 2-run shot. And it is. Corbin Carroll does it again. 3 runs in the inning. It's now 5-1. That 6-9 has got him into trouble big time. 1-6 for Marte, fly to center, 2 away. And that brings up Lourdes Gurriel. 4-5, and that's a ground ball to McMahon to end the inning. But 3 runs come in this time for Arizona. They take a 5-1 lead after 2. Wonder how long Marquez can go. They'll need to go a few innings because they used a couple guys in the bullpen multiple innings, so they're limited on their bullpen selections. Now here's Nick Martini, DH. That's a 6-8, and that's a 1-5 double. 6-20 would be a single, and that's a base hit for Nick Martini. He's aboard for Adel Amador, number 9 hitter. 1-7, and that's a line out right to the second baseman Lawler, 1 away. Fortunately, no nameless players are used in this particular starting lineup. It's Jordan Beck. That is a 3-10 for Beck, and that's a ground ball shortstop A. That's going to be a Giovanni's Taylor shot. Tailor-made double play to end the inning. Get a close-up of the double play. That 3-10 is a ground ball shortstop A, and that qualifies for the Giovanni's Taylor shop. Tailor-made double play of the game. Giovanni's Tailor Shop in Lemoyne, Pennsylvania. If you're in the area and have tailoring needs, be sure to stop by and see them. Tell them Demo sent you. They'll give you a discount. They're the unofficial sponsor of the channel, but the official sponsor of the Giovanni's Tailor Shop tailor-made double play of the game. So top of the third didn't go well for the Rockies. Let's see about the bottom of the third. It's got to go better than for Marquez than what it has been. Can't be any worse, can it? 3-6 for Pavin Smith. That's a base hit. Leadoff single, and here's Suarez. 1-8 for Suarez, and that's a strikeout. That's the first strikeout from Marquez. Took him 3 innings to get one. There's Gabriel Moreno. 5-10, and that's a ground ball shortstop X potential double play. Tovar is a 2. So 19 is a G1. He's got to avoid 15, 16, and 17, which he does. It'll be another Giovanni's Tailor Shop tailor-made double play to end the inning. One good Giovanni's Tailor Shop double play deserves another in the same inning. We go to the fourth. It's still 5-1. Arizona. Both, let's see, Zach Gallen has 6 for his fatigue, and Marquez has 5. Here is Tovar. 5-8, and it's a ground ball chance on Lawler. He's a 4E71. 4-9. I think he'll actually get to that. He does. But the E71 is at the very bottom of the list. Still not that bad, though. It's 11 through 17, basically, without the 14. There's a lot of numbers he can get and not make an error. Just like that, 7 is not an error on E71. E71, there is no 7 there, so Lawler will make the play. And Tovar is out. So here's Hunter Goodman. 5-5. And that's a strikeout for Gallen. That's his second. 2 down for Ryan McMahon. 5-5, and that's another strikeout. Third strikeout. Another 1-2-3 inning for Zach Gallen. Rockies offense seems to have gone into a little bit of a funk. See if they can snap out of it. You got 5 innings to do so. Here's Alec Thomas. 1-6 for Thomas, and that's a 1 for a home run, but fly to left on a 2-20. Now, if a 1 shows up, I know it's rigged. Okay, all right. So we're a little bit more trusting of that D20 now. Fly to left, 1 away. Here's Lawler. 3-2, that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 2 for Marquez, and now here's Perdomo. 1-7, and that's a walk. That's actually the first walk issued by Marquez, and Perdomo will be looking to take a lead here. Needs a 5 or a 6 to get the good lead. He gets it. He's going to go 19, being held to 17, plus 5. It's pretty much going to be automatic, so he's just going to eat the ball and not risk a throwing error. So stolen base for Perdomo, however you say it. And now here's Corbin Carroll in the clutch. Carroll loses one hit on a 3-3. That's a 1-6. That's a ballpark blast for Corbin Carroll. Could he hit his third home run in a row? He hit 2 home runs off the 6-9 result. Now we get a 1-6 result. And it's a fly ball to center. Now the dice are showing 1-5, but I think I rolled a 1-6. I'm actually going to go back and double check this and make sure I rolled a 1-6, or somebody can confirm while I'm doing this. I just want to make sure I don't make a mistake here. For some reason the dice are showing 1-5, but I was pretty sure I rolled a 1-6. So let me back this up just a hair, because I don't want to get it wrong. Let's see what Corbin. I rolled a 1-6, so it is a 1-6. I just hit it with my hand when I moved the dice out of the tray. So it is a 1-6, unfortunately, for Marquez. But fortunately for Marquez, Corbin Carroll's only home run chance is a 1. Now, if this comes up as a 1, then we know something's up. Nope. Okay, this time finally Corbin Carroll does not hit the home run. It's a fly to right to end the inning. Good thing it wasn't at a better hitting park, or that would have been gone also. So finally a 0 goes on the board for Marquez. We go to the 5th inning. Still 5-1 Arizona. And here is Mr. Kyle Farmer. 5-5, another strikeout. 3 in a row by Zach Gallen. Here's Mickey Moniak, the Maniac. 5-8, and that's a ground ball second base X. Again, Lawler's going to have another chance. 4-11, he'll get to that. E71, again, he pretty much needs to stay 10 or less. Now that one's going to be a 13, so I think that's going to be an error. E71, a 13 is an error. So they finally get the error on Lawler. That E71 finally bites him. So an error there for Moniak, but down 5-1. If you're going to go, you better make sure you can make it. It'd be a 1-15 if he got there. I don't think you can try it down 5-1. Here's Tyler Freeman. 1-8, and that's a walk for Freeman. That's going to put runners at first and second. 1 out for Nick Martini, the designated hitter. .37 for Martini, another strikeout. Strikeout number 5. Now it's up to Amador. Last shot. Adel Amador. 3-8, and he will strike out to end the inning. So he struck out the side amongst all the other things that happened. 6 strikeouts already for Colorado. They're right on pace for their normal 10 or 11 a game. And we go to the bottom of the 5th. Still 5-1. This is the fatigue inning for Marquez. He's got a 5 there. He actually has pitched pretty well the last 2 innings, so they're hoping maybe he's found something to build upon. Here's Marte. 1-8, and it's ground out to Amador for out number 1. 1 down, and that will send up Lourdes Gurriel. 6-3, ground ball pitcher X again. He can't make an error, but he is an E4. He is a 4 range, so he's going to need to roll on the D20 at least a 5. A 5 or higher, he makes the play. And he does. So that'll be out number 2 for Pavin Smith. 3-7, and that's a strikeout. So how about that? Marquez will keep full endurance into the 6th. We go to the 6th, it is 5-1. If they can get 6 innings out of Marquez, they'll probably be ecstatic. That'll help their bullpen. And if they're losing, they only have to cover 8 innings, so that helps as well. All right, here's Jordan Beck back out, and this is the fatigue inning for Zach Gallen. 4-7, and that's a walk, leadoff walk. Again, down 5-1. I don't think they're going to risk it. Arizona will hold him on, obviously, but He's just not going to risk it. So here's Tovar. 3-4 for Tovar. It's ground ball shortstop B. That is a fielder's choice. So Tovar takes over as the new runner. 1 out, and here is Hunter Goodman. 1-8 for Goodman. That's a strikeout. Strikeout number 7 by the Rockies. For Ryan McMahon. 4-6 for McMahon, and that is a pop out to first to Pavin Smith. That will end the inning. Zach Gallen will go 7. Will end up going into the 7th. So why not? He's up 5-1. Why wouldn't he? This will be the last inning for Marquez, most likely. He'll be facing Suarez, who has actually gotten out twice, and then Moreno, who has gotten out twice, and then Thomas. 1-6, and he struck out Suarez. That is strikeout number 4 for Marquez. And here's Gabriel Moreno. 4-4, and that's a catcher X. Catcher Goodman's a 4. That's a 4 and a 2. 4 and a 2, but nobody's on base. So 4 and a 2 will be a ground out, assuming there's no error, but he is an E1, and so the only error, is that right? Did I write that down right? I thought he had a higher error rating than that. Let me double check this, make sure I didn't misread. He's an E10, not an E1. I didn't think that looked right. Goodman is actually an E10, not an E1. I thought something looked weird there. So E10, he's got to watch out for the E10, which is a 12 and an 18. And he makes the play. So it'll be a 2-3 ground out. 2 up, 2 down for Perdermo. Not Perdermo. They're out of order here. Alec Thomas, not Perdermo. It'll be Alec Thomas. 1-9, and he's going to get a base hit. His second hit of the game. And he's going to be looking to get a lead. Needs a 2 through 6. Doesn't get it. He will hold for Lawler. 1-8 struck him out. Strikeout number 5 for Marquez. He may actually go for the 7th inning now, because he has really settled down since those first 2 innings. Final inning for Zach Gallen. He'll be facing Farmer, Moniak, and Freeman. Hello, Dr. D. 2-11, and that's a ground ball to third. 1 away from Moniak. That's a 4-8, and that is a base on balls. Moniak. And that's the 3rd walk issued by Gallen. And here's Tyler Freeman. 6-10, and that's a ballpark single check. It's 1-14. 1-14 for Freeman. And of course, he rolls a 16, so that's a liner to short. 2 down for Nick Martini. 4-8 for Martini is another walk. And now we're gonna get a pinch hitter for Amador. Rockies have to have some sort of offense here. So they will go to a pinch hitter for Amador. And they're going to go to Michael Tolia to hit. Tolia will stay in the game to play first base, and then Farmer will move to second base. So Tolia is going to be in there to play first base, where he is a 3-6. I can fix this here. Looks a little sloppy. Let's make him a 3-6. And he runs at an 11. All right, so Tolia pinch hitting for Amador. And then Farmer will move from first to second. Tolia will stay in the game to play first. So Tolia, the pinch hitter. Clutch situation for Tolia. And he is completely neutral in the clutch. That is a 2-6, and that is a 1-2 single. Anything else, he grounds to short. And he's going to ground to short to end the inning. you're curious about Amador, he would have popped to short on a 2-6. So what are you going to do? All right, so that's going to do it for Zach Gallen. He's going to go 7 innings. And he's going to give up just the 1 run, the home run to Goodman. Was it. Struck out 7, walked 4, gave up 1, 2. Just the 2 hits. Home run and a single. That's it. Just 2 hits. Marquez going to dip into the 7th inning, at least start the 7th inning against Perdomo. Although there is action in the Rocky bullpen. They do have Tyler Kinley loosening in the bullpen. Perdomo 2-8. That's a pop out to second base. 1 away for Corbin Carroll. You know what? Rocky's actually going to make the move right now. They're pulling Marquez, and they're not going to go to Kinley. They're actually going to a left-hander, Scott Alexander. They want to try to neutralize Corbin some with the lefty if they can. So Alexander is going to come on. Marquez will go 6 1/3. He's going to give up 5 runs. They were earned. Going to give up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Going for 8 hits. He walked only 1 and struck out 5. So Alexander is on. 0 on the hole. So Alexander is on to face Corbin Carroll, lefty on lefty matchup. You got Marte, a switch hitter, coming up next. 6-11, that's a ground ball pitcher X. He's a 3-0. So he can't make an error. We're going to roll and make sure there's no rare play or anything. There's not. So now the 3. If he can get a G1, he can get a double play. To get a 3 to get a G1, though, it's going to be almost impossible. He needs 17 or higher. Just to make the play, he needs 4 or higher. 18, he got the double play. That's a G1. So that will be a 1 to 6 to 3. I'm sorry, it's not a double play. Nobody's on base. What am I doing? I was thinking the runner was on first for some reason. There's usually always somebody on first, so I'm kind of taken aback when it's not. So here is Marte. 1-8 against the lefty, and he grounds it to short, and that'll do it. So Alexander does his job. He goes 2/3 of an inning and doesn't give up anything. Keeps the score at 5-1 as we go to the 8th inning. It's been that way since the 2nd inning. They're nowhere near their 14-12 mark. And now the Diamondbacks will need a new pitcher. We're going to go to a right-hander. And let's see who pitched the previous game. Nelson was the only one that pitched out of the bullpen, so everybody else is available. They are going to go with Juan Murillo. Juan Murillo, 0-3, 4.19 ERA and a save. So Juan Murillo will be coming on. Right-hander. And let's see, he's a -2. And Murillo will be facing Tovar and Goodman. Top of the order. 5-1 Diamondbacks, top of the 8th. 6-3. Whoops, we need a batter, don't we? Definitely need a batter here. 6-3 is a fly ball right field X. That is Carroll. He's a 1, so we know he's going to get to it. Only error is a 17, I believe. Let me double check that. 17 is the only error there. 3 and 17, two numbers, 17. And neither one of those they fly to right. 1 down for Ezekiel Tovar. That's a 10. That's a catcher X. He's a 1. 1-12. So E1, the only one is a 17 on standalone. And what do we know? We roll a C. Do you believe that? Moreno's an E1, and the only catcher error is a 17. So Moreno will boot it. Diamondbacks They also had an error earlier on by Mr. Lawler, but Strange won, and he makes the hold that magical 17. Now here's Hunter Goodman with 1 out and a runner at first. That is a 6-5, and that is a ground ball shortstop X. Perdermo is a 1 and a 13. Let's see if that's a double play opportunity. Probably is a G1. 1 and a 13 is in fact a G1. He's 18. Errors are 15, 16, 17, and 18. Needs a 14 or less to not make an error. And there'll be another error on the Diamondbacks. He's an E18, and an E18 of 15 is the first number in the error range under the E18. So let's change this to 3 errors. Now he's got to deal with McMahon. See, the Diamondbacks might go to a lefty out of the bullpen now. Maria has faced his minimum 3 batters, so they could go lefty here if they would like, and they will. We're going to go to Jalen Beeks, a left-hander. Face McMahon. Jalen Beeks, 5-3, 3.77 ERA and a save. So Jalen Beeks will be on. Get the numbers on Murillo. He goes a third of an inning. He is responsible for both of those runs. They would be unearned, but he'd still be responsible for them. And now Beeks facing McMahon with runners at first and second and 1 out. Lefty-lefty matchup. It's a 3 left field. Single to left field. Left fielder arm. Gurriel's a -1. So they're going to, with nobody out, you just can't take the chances on the base paths. They're going to load the bases here for Kyle Farmer. Kyle Farmer is up with the bases loaded. Kyle Farmer. Very good. They're going to bring in Brenton Doyle. He has a chance. He's got the power to hit a grand slam, whereas Farmer, well, actually, Farmer does against a lefty as well. So I guess we'll keep Farmer. I was going to make a pinch hit ball there at first, but we'll go with Farmer. He does have normal power, so if we get a ballpark check or something, and he's got some home runs against lefties on this side of his card. So bases loaded, 1 out, infield play, and that's a 1. His wild pitch rating's a 3 with no wild pitch. Here's 6-11. It's a fly ball right. That's going to probably be a sacrifice fly. Only error is 3 and 17. Whoops. And there is no error, but it will be a sacrifice fly by Farmer to cut the lead to 5-2. And now that brings up Moniak, but Moniak will be called back, and now Brandon Doyle will come in. Brenton Doyle will pinch hit for Moniak and stay in the game to play center field. Brenton Doyle. He has to face him because that's his third batter face, so he can't bring another pitcher and face the first and second, 2 outs, 1 run in the clutch against lefties. Gains a hit on 2-8. Doyle, 6-4. It's a ground ball shortstop X. So Dermo, we know he's going to get to it. We're just checking the E18. Now, he did make an error already this inning on the wrong chart. At E18, we've already seen on the E18, he rolled a 15 and make an error. So he's got to avoid 15 through 18. He's got to go low here, 14 or less to make, and he does. So he redeems himself and makes the play. The Rockies end up with 1 unearned run. Each will go 2/3 of an inning, give up a hit, nothing else. And that'll do it for that. So Doyle will stay in the game to play center field in place of Moniak. And the Rockies will bring in a new pitcher to pitch the bottom of the 8th. Coming up for the Diamondbacks, it'll be Gurriel Smith Suarez, righty, lefty, right. So you probably want to go to a right-hander, I would think. And they're going to go to right-hander Seth Halverson. So Halverson will come on. And he will pitch to try to keep the score where it is. And he'll be facing Lord Gurriel. Bottom of the 8th. Arizona leads at 5-2, looking for some insurance. 3-7. That's a strikeout. One away for Pavin Smith. That is a 3-5, and that's a base hit for Pavin Smith. His second hit of the game. And that'll bring in Suarez. And he's got a loaded column 3. So for Halverson, you got to stay away from his column 3. He did. 5-3. He's a ground ball pitcher, actually. He's a 3 E30. 3 and a 10 for a pitcher. 3 and a 10 is a G3, so we know the runner is going to advance. We know Smith is going to go to second base. It's just a matter of whether Halverson can make the play successfully. E35 as a pitcher. He's got a lot of errors here, 9 through 18, basically. That is a 10. Now, you might have skipped one here. Let's see. He's an E35. But a 10 is an error there. 9, 10, 11, 12, all the way through. So 10 will be an error on Halverson. First Rockies error. And that'll bring up Gabriel Moreno. First and second, one out. 6-4, and that's a catcher X. So we're looking at Goodman. He's a 4. 4 and a 10. 4 and a 10 is a potential pass ball. He's an E rating of 10, so he's got to avoid 12 and 18, which he does. Now we're looking at the wild pitch rating to see if a pass ball has occurred. His wild pitch rating is a 16. So 1 to 16, and we got a pass ball. And we do. So pass ball on Goodman. That'll take the double play out of the equation and bring the infield in. Infield has to come in against Moreno. 3-4, and that is a foul out. So a big out to get there to get them to foul out and keeps everybody where they are. Alec Thomas is your batter, but he's going to be intentionally walked. Diamondbacks have Jordan Lawler coming up, but I think they might pinch hit for Lawler and get a better defender out there. So let's see what they want to do in that area. Tim Tawa will come in and play second base, but they're going to use Josh Naylor as a pinch hitter. Naylor will pinch hit, and Tawa will take over at second base. So Josh Naylor pinch hitting here in the 8th. And then Tawa will play second base in the 9th inning. 3E23 is his numbers defensively. But Josh Naylor it is. Now the question is, do they let Halverson pitch to Naylor, or do they bring in a left-hander to try to neutralize Naylor? They got the other left-hander, that being lefty Ryan Rollison, but Rollison is just gosh awful. But Halverson's no prize either. So they're going to pull Halverson and go to Rollison, the lefty, try to play the percentages. Don't know if it'll work or not, but that's what the Rockies manager is going to try to figure out. Halverson is going to go 2/3 of an inning. He's going to give up 1 hit, a walk, and a strikeout. And, of course, he's responsible for all 3 runs on base. So Josh Naylor in a clutch situation. Against the lefty in the clutch, he will gain a hit on 210. 5-9, ground ball to second, and that gets him out of the inning. So Rollison did his job, got the 1 batter he needed to get. Keep the score close. It's still 5-2. And new second baseman will be Tawa for the Diamondbacks. Now coming in for Arizona to try to close it out. Let's see who they have as their closer, who had the most saves. If they had anybody that had any big amount of saves. Man, almost by committee. They're going to go to Kevin Ginkel. He had 3 saves. I know his ERA is terrible, but he had 3 saves. So that's who we're going with. 1-4 is 7.36 ERA, but he does have 3 saves. So Kevin Ginkel will be on in a 5-2 save situation. And scheduled hitters are Freeman, Martini, and Tolia. And I don't believe there's much on the bench. Jacob Stallings is on the bench and one of the nameless players, so we're kind of stuck with who we have. So it will be Freeman to lead things off against Kevin Ginkel. Top of the 9th, 5-2 Diamondbacks. 6-5, that's a strikeout for Ginkel. 1 away for Nick Martini, the designated hitter, with Tolia on deck. 4-5 against a lefty. That is a ballpark blast. Martini is weak power, though, so the best he could do is a single, and he'd have to get a 1 to get a single. Did I just roll a 1? Are you kidding me? Nick Martini, against all odds, gets a single. Would have been a home run, but he has weak power. But he gets the hit, so I guess that counts for something. When you're down by 3, you need base runners. It doesn't matter if they're on first or third or at home. You need base runners. So here's Tolia. (1-7) for Tolia, and that's a strikeout. So the Rockies down to their final out, and it is going to be Jordan Beck, last chance saloon, against Kevin Ginkel. It's a 1-9 for Beck, and that's a 1-8 triple. 9-20 would be a single. Oops. And that's going to be a triple for Jordan Beck. RBI triple for Beck. Cuts the lead to 5-3 and brings a tying run to the plate in Ezekiel Tovar. Ginkel trying to hang on. 2 outs clutch situation for Tovar, and he is completely neutral in the clutch. 5-3. Fly ball right field X. This should do it because Carroll's a 1. E1, the only way he makes an error is on a 17. That's it. And he makes the play, and the ball game is over. Rockies do get a run in the 9th, but it's not enough. Diamondbacks secure the victory by the score of 5-3. Ginkel gets the save. Gallen gets the win. Marquez will take the tough luck loss. Ginkel 1 inning pitch, 2 hits and a run. No walks and 2 strikeouts. Final line score: 5 runs, 9 hits, 3 errors for Arizona. 3 runs, 5 hits, and 1 error for Colorado. Colorado drops to 15-30 after 45 games. They're now +7 as they won this game real world. So in real world, they were 8 and I believe they were 8-37, if I'm not mistaken. So we're still +7, but we're running out of time to get those 20 wins. We need 5 more wins in 13 games. They have to go 5-8. That's probably not going to happen. But if we can get to 18 wins, that would be double the 9. That'd be a solid replay too. That means they need to get 3 wins out of these 13 games. So going 3-10 is definitely doable, you would think. Maybe not the way they're playing. It's hard to say. But Arizona Diamondbacks get the win. They win the first 2 games of the series finale. And the road trip will end tomorrow night, I should say. Let's go to the box score and see who the pitching matchup is going to be tomorrow night for this game, for this series, and then where Colorado goes after that. I'm assuming they come back home. Yep, they come back home against for 4 against the Phillies and 3 against the Yankees. 7-game homestand, Phillies and Yankees coming up. That's not going to get any easier. Tomorrow's game played on May the 18th on a Sunday. They lost that game 1-0 to Arizona. It was Merrill Kelly against Chase Dolander. And how they only gave up 1 run, I don't know. Rockies only gave up 1 run and 4 hits, but they scored 3 runs, no runs on 3 hits. So there you have it. That's going to do it from here. I do see that they have another pitcher that has gotten some saves for them, or had some saves for them, I should say, that I forgot to bring on board, and that is Shelby Miller. And he was traded to Milwaukee, so I'm going to have to go to the Brewers and get Shelby Miller and add him to the pitching staff. They should have been on here already, and I missed that one, but Shelby Miller will be here for the last game to be able to save it, because he's really their closer at this point in the season before he gets traded. So we'll have Shelby Miller. But tomorrow, it'll be Merrill Kelly for the Diamondbacks against Chase Dolander for the Rockies. Tomorrow morning, we'll be in Cleveland, Kansas City Royals against the Cleveland Indians. It'll be Mark Gubaza against Ken Schramm. That game will be tomorrow at around 9:15 or so. So thank you all for spending part of your Tuesday night with me. Hope you all have a great evening, whatever you have planned. Until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and we'll see you all down the road.